All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome again to the Emergency and Security Studies webinar. My name is Amanda Hassan, and I'm the Director of Academic Advising here at SOPA. And here with me, I also have Dr. Michael Wallace and Dr. Rebecca Rouse, and I will let them introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. Very happy to see you on this session today. My name is Michael Wallace. I am the Director of the Emergency and Security Studies program here at Tulane University. A little bit about my background. I am a retired Naval Intelligence Officer. I spent 20 years in the military with tours including Defense Intelligence Agency, Defense HUMINT, Office of Naval Intelligence, and Naval Special Warfare. And I currently teach in the program, which is the best part of my job. I teach counterterrorism and intelligence analysis. I'll turn over to my colleague, Dr. Rouse.
Hi, everybody. My name is Becky Rouse. I am, even though Dr. Wallace is the intelligence officer, I'm the intelligent officer because I retired from the U.S. Army after 22 years. And my background is in, of course, military police and military-related functions for support to the national response to emergencies and crises and disasters. I also recently had a tour, if you will, with FEMA for 16 months, and I've done a couple of other things in between that and taught at the university level since about 1995. So I'm really excited to see folks. I guess you'd say I lead the emergency management program, and certainly I teach emergency management and a little bit of terrorism studies in there as well. So nice to meet everybody.
All right, so a little bit about SOPA. Tulane, obviously the Tulane SOPA was started as the Medical College of Louisiana back in 1834, where we kind of first started working with adult learners. And so since then, we have dedicated over 130 years of making sure that students who are coming back into to education, either to switch careers or to enhance their current career by returning back to school. We at SOPA pride upon educating adult learners, and so that is what we are all about, and that is the most wonderful thing about SOPA. So why? Not just the fact that we are dedicated to you as working adults. We have rich programs that are dedicated to providing the most flexibility and affordability. Many folks are working and trying to go to school at the same time. So we offer courses that are online, and they're very rich in terms of the coursework and the faculty who teach them. The programs are in and of itself pretty great. And they are, we're recognized nationally for a lot of the programs that we have. You have a full team of folks that are here to support you throughout your time at SOPA, from an admissions team from the beginning to an advising team, to your program directors, to your faculty, to all of your professors. We're here to support you every step of the way. So that's exactly why Tulane SOPA would be the best fit for you. So a little bit about online learning at SOPA. SOPA is one of the first departments on campus to actually incorporate online learning. We have many online programs, and our courses are comprised of learning materials, lecture notes, and assignments, all of these things which are available at any time. We incorporate engaging and informative videos as well, and all other type of interactive media and simulations. We allow for rich discussions on discussion boards so that you can collaborate with your classmates as well as with your professor. And it's just a good way to connect with a diverse group of students to improve the communication and the actual learning environment overall. And you have monthly meetings with your classmates and with your faculty member, as well as guest speakers are included. So just to give you an idea of how much online learning is done at SOPA, we have over 1,300 students, close to 1,400 students, who complete almost 13,000 hours of coursework online, which is a lot, but it just shows how great our programs are and how you're really not missing a beat, and gives you that on-ground feel with the information that is being presented to you in our online classes. We have 8 master's degrees, 11 graduate certificates, 4 post-baccalaureate certificates, and over 300 courses that are taught online. The quality, the faculty are trained multiple hours and weeks and months to actually build courses and design them in a way that gives online instruction to the students the most flexibility and the most inclusive environment. All right, so I will turn it over to Dr. Wallace.
Thank you. So the reason why you're all here is because you're interested in Homeland Security and emergency management. And the Homeland Security academic field actually started after the terrorist attacks in 2001, 9/11. Emergency management has actually been around for quite a long time, but after 9/11, it was decided that the Department of Homeland Security would be set up to defend the United States against mainly terror attacks. And that held till about 2005 when Hurricane Katrina struck New Orleans. And the shift, Homeland Security went through a shift to also include all disasters. So whether it be man-made or natural, kind of an all hazards approach as we call it. So now Homeland Security encompasses many different fields, including emergency management, critical infrastructure, cybersecurity, intelligence, counterterrorism, and homeland defense and border protection. So it's quite a wide field with a lot of opportunities. And I think Dr. Rouse is going to talk about emergency management. You need to turn on your headphone.
I really expect everyone to read my lips. Let's make this engaging and interactive. Emergency management, of course, has been around as long as our nation has existed, truly. Without getting into the details of some of the pre-Revolutionary War incidents and such, you recognize this. You know that communities, individuals, families, and leaders throughout all levels of government are constantly preparing to handle crises, disasters, catastrophic events, and lesser events. Right now, of course, we're in the middle of COVID pandemic, which everybody here, of course, knows, but we also have some other things percolating in society and in our country and in the world, and these things spill over borders. So emergency managers have this opportunity to think proactively, prepare, protect, and also kind of ward against the worst consequences we might contemplate, which we call mitigation. Take those measures that will lessen the terrible consequences we might expect for things we cannot prevent. A hurricane would be an example, but we can certainly prevent the kind of catastrophic damage we see in some cases. And so in our program, Emergency Management, we prepare folks to become emergency managers or be enhanced versions of the emergency management professionals that they are already.
So, like I mentioned before, Homeland Security is a huge field and one that you can find jobs anywhere in the country, whether it be a medium to large size city, county, parish, state, federal government. There are emergency management and Homeland Security offices throughout the country and at those different levels. You can see here the local public sector, the state, federal, but also in the private sector. Companies, large companies, for example, oil companies, chemical companies here in Louisiana, they have a vested interest in emergency management and also security management because they want to keep their employees safe and they want to make sure that nothing bad happens to their business. That affects the bottom line, and that's bad. So they invest in emergency management and security management, again, to keep their employees safe and to keep their businesses running. And then another sector that is often overlooked is healthcare. Hospitals employ almost everything that we teach in the Homeland Security and emergency management programs. They're very concerned with everything from emergency management, health and medical issues, to critical infrastructure, to terrorism. So healthcare is a major field. And you can see some of the different agencies. We have the intelligence community, we have the private sector, we have FEMA, we have local government, state government. So again, many opportunities out there across the United States for both Homeland Security and emergency management professionals. So getting into the degrees, we have a Bachelor's of Arts in Homeland Security Studies. It's a total of 120 credits. So that is the entire degree program, with 30 of those being in Homeland Security. In the Homeland Security program encompasses courses such as emergency management, health and medical issues, critical infrastructure, terrorism, intelligence. We also offer courses in human intelligence, counterintelligence. We have a brand new course in geospatial information systems, GIS, which is becoming extremely important. So we like this program. We like adding new courses to the program to keep it up to date. And we also have a program for those in the bachelor's program. So before your senior year, if you want, you can apply for a 4+1 program, which means that you start to take master's courses, 2 master's courses in your senior year. And then a year after you graduate from your undergrad, you can finish your master's degree. So you have both a bachelor's and master's degree in Homeland Security Studies. We also have certificates. We have both post-baccalaureate and graduate certificates. Post-baccalaureates are for those who already have undergrad degrees, but in other fields. And this would be for somebody who wants to learn more about emergency management and Homeland Security. And then graduate certificates, those are also for people who have bachelor's degrees who want to start on a graduate level education, but maybe not quite interested in doing the complete graduate degree. So we offer certificates in security management, emergency management, sports security, and we're going to have some new ones in the fall, including one in intelligence, what I'm pretty excited about. The good thing about these graduate certificates, once you start them, and they're 12 hours, 4 classes, and you decide that you want to go and complete your master's degrees, these courses will count towards your master's degree. They're what we call stackable. So it's a great way to start graduate education and finish. And then we have the Masters of Professional Studies and Homeland Security Studies. This is one of our oldest degrees. It's 10 courses. You have 4 6,000 level courses. So the intro courses, and that includes emergency management, health, medical issues, intelligence analysis, and terrorism. And then for the rest of the courses, so for the other 6, you get to pick from a wide variety of courses. You can see some of them right here. The human intelligence, border security, narco-terrorism, they're all brand new courses. Human intelligence and counterintelligence is being taught by a former CIA case officer. Border security is being taught by a border security professional who's been in the field over 20 years. Narco-terrorism is a retired DEA agent. So these are all brand new classes, which we're very excited about. To be admitted to the program and to graduate from the program, you have to have an undergrad GPA of 3.0, and then in the grad program, you have to maintain and graduate with a 3.0. Over on the right-hand side, you see some of the career options that our graduates have actually gone into. We have a lot of graduates who move into different fields, both at the state, local, and federal level. We also have a lot of students who are already in the field and want to get that advanced degree to round out their education, and they're also in these fields. The next degree is a Master of Professional Studies in Security Management. So this degree is specific design for the private sector. It's a little different. The format's a little different from the Homeland Security. It's 11 graduate courses. So you have 9 courses that are prescribed. You get 1 elective, and then we have a capstone to kind of tie everything together. You can see the courses here. Again, a little different because you're more focused on industry and private security. So you have physical infrastructure protection, risk management, corporate security, cyber threats. We also have a financial security course. And again, to be admitted, you have to have a 3.0 undergrad GPA, and then to graduate from the program, you also have to have a 3.0. Again, over on the right-hand side, some of the jobs that our students have taken or been in while they do the degree.
Hey, Dr. Wallace, you have a question from somebody named Timothy Wallace. Good afternoon. Are there GPA requirements for the stackable certification courses?
Yes, and that's a very good question. So it's the same. We require a 3.0 undergrad GPA to start the certificate program, and then we expect you to maintain a 3.0 GPA while you're in the certificate program. Very good question.
And not just because your last name is Wallace, right?
Yes.
Probably a good clue there. We'll talk about for a minute about the Master's in Professional Studies in Emergency Management. This is 11 graduate courses. It's actually being modified a little bit as we speak. What you see here is true as we speak. But one of the things we want to do is we want to offer more options to students to study some of the electives that interest them most. So if you're interested in public health, there are some opportunities in the future that we're working with the School of Public Health to do a possible collaborative program with them. And we also have a couple of courses in development in addition to what you see here, which will include emergency management and science or forensics, and maybe hopefully a women's security and peace class that we're trying to develop as well. We say this because one thing about both emergency management and Homeland Security, and certainly security management as well, is it's changing. It will change by the end of today, the fields that we're in, not just the doctrine and the policies. Just today, I found a tool on FEMA that just came out that shows communities how they can map the vulnerabilities within their communities. This is a possible game changer. We want to incorporate those tools and expose students to everything that's coming out and being delivered in all of the enhancements that our field offer. One other thing too that I hope I'm not stealing from a future slide, but some of the other enhancements we have in all of our programs is outreach to the community or outreach to communities that are of interest and importance to all the students through your individual projects, through your capstones, and through class projects. We're working on some major collaborations that might take us to other places in the country, possibly even the world. So that's pretty exciting stuff as well. As you see over to the right, in the little box, career options. This lists some of the options for you. And if you have any questions about what some of these are, for instance, federal coordinating officer, that's a position within FEMA. But I'm going to tell you that of these three master's level programs, of all of them, it is true that any industry, any sector, any level of government or private sector or manufacturing or school systems or public health, anything you can think of requires both emergency and security planning and execution. So you will have the opportunity with these degrees to truly work in any part, whether it be globally or locally, to work in any sector or level of government or private sector, public sector. That's all I got.
And one of the best things about this program, in my view, are the faculty that teach in the program. Dr. Rouse and I are full time, and we also teach. But every other faculty member on our program are adjuncts, and what that means is they are actually in the field that they teach. For example, Megan McPherson has been teaching for us for a very long time. She is the emergency manager for the Mount Sinai Hospital System up in New York City. She is busy, busy, busy. She's been busy ever since the COVID outbreak happened. And so she brings those lessons that she's learning that day into the classroom to pass on to students. We have also Darren Hill. You see the rest of the faculty here. Again, all of them are either in the field or have spent their whole career in these fields. And so that is one of the best things about this program. You're learning from experts in the field. Another great thing is, I mentioned before that we have professionals that are in these programs that are interested in getting graduate degrees, but they're already in the fields, and they also bring something. I believe all students bring something to these courses, whether you've been in the field or not. Everyone has life experience. Everything can be applied to something in all these classes. But I can't say enough for our faculty. They're totally outstanding. And I think Dr. Rouse had something to add.
Well, actually, I'm in the chat room, and I've invited everybody to please let us know where you're from and which of the programs you think you might be interested in, to get a little bit of a chat going. But I think it's true what Dr. Wells says. We try to find, well, we have practitioner scholars, as we say, folks who are not just working in the field, but are also terrific teachers. We all know some folks who you go, wow, you must be amazing at what you do all day because you're not that amazing at night. Well, they're amazing around the clock. That's the folks that we hire to teach for us. And they also have tremendous networks, and we exploit them and their networks to whatever degree we can. And they certainly leverage ours as well in assisting students as you move on from graduating into career fields or into developing networks of your own.
And just to kind of finish up our portion here, you can see where our graduates have been employed. We have had tremendous success in placing students and students coming to our programs in various fields, both in public and private sector, and at all levels, federal, state, and local. We here in New Orleans have a few of our graduates that are in New Orleans city government. We have some at the state level, state of Mississippi right next door, and then we have many students both at the FBI, Secret Service, CIA, and other agencies like that. So it's kind of fun to see where our graduates end up. They usually send us little emails telling us about their successes, which we love to hear.
Hey, Dr. Wallace, another question that would be perfect for you to answer. Gabriel asks, he says he or she says they are interested in classes specializing in counterterrorism. Are there, oh, my screen just moved. Are there any classes specifically specialized in Homeland Security Studies program related to counterterrorism? Yes,
and that's a good question. So when you start in the Homeland Security program, we have a basic terrorism course that kind of explains what terrorism is, what counterterrorism is. And then we have an advanced terrorism course. And those combined with some of the intelligence courses will make you into a very formidable terrorism analyst. Dr. Rouse has taught our terrorism course for a few years. I teach terrorism myself. Dr. Rouse has done some very inventive things with her students, including having her students plan attacks using a set amount of money and a computer. It's amazing what you can find on the internet. And what we try to do is put you in the mindset of a terrorist. You know, what can you do with the tools that you have at hand? And that by doing that, you become a better analyst and a better intel agent. So.
Hey, Dr. Wallace, we also, the chats are just coming in like crazy, which is fantastic. Really appreciate your effort. Seeing a kind of a repeat here, maybe a little deeper on the kind of things people do with security management, either the certificate or the master's in security management. What are some of the kind of cool gigs that a person might work toward in those fields?
So again, all very good questions. For security management, I think I can give you two examples. We have graduates that are in the medical field, so hospitals. Here in Louisiana, we have a few large hospital, I guess, groups, and we have graduates who work in that system. Healthcare is not going away. Healthcare is going to get bigger and bigger, and there's going to be a need, as we've seen with the COVID outbreak. You know, you have to be able to shift gears pretty rapidly, but you also have a lot of things that you have to plan against. Again, you have natural disasters, you have man-made disasters, you know, and I'm not just talking terrorism, I'm talking about, you know, mistakes that happen, leaks, chemical leaks, things like that. You do have to worry about terrorists or people who might have a criminal intent. Critical infrastructure. If you don't have power, if you can't get power restored, if you don't have generators, you're kind of stuck. Another thing is the cyber aspect, which we've kind of touched on a little bit, but cyber is vital to both emergency management and Homeland Security. And what we're seeing with cyber, you have hackers who try to hack in for ransomware and things like that. And just imagine if they get into a hospital system and they're managed to take all that information for ransom, a hospital can't operate. Everything now is done by computer. So that's pretty scary, but that's kind of the things that you in this field plan for. You always want to think of the worst case scenario and plan for that. Hopefully it never happens, but at least you have a plan and you thought about it, you thought it through. Another area, especially down here in Louisiana, oil and gas and chemical industries, extremely important. There's some major corporations down here that spend, again, a lot of money, both in emergency management and security. Security for their employees. If they go overseas, they need to be protected. Security here in the States, drones have transformed security issues here in the States. You have a drone, you can use that drone for reconnaissance. You can also use it for an attack. So a lot of new things, a lot of technology, and these areas are just continue to grow. They're not going to go away. So security management is a very growing field, and companies are finally starting to realize that this is something that they have to invest in, just like cyber. You have to invest in cyber. You may not see a payoff, but that's because you have a very robust cyber capability that protects that business. I'll be quiet now.
Well, no, that sounds good. And in fact, think of any kind of infrastructure, whether it's considered critical infrastructure or other infrastructure. If it's the World War II Museum in New Orleans, the Disneyland, Six Flags up outside of Chicago, the airport, every facility. Again, you think, well, Homeland Security will cover all that, but security management kind of focuses on what your mission is, the personnel involved with that mission, the personal security and the physical security, and you're able to specialize in those fields. And that is not something you normally get in a more general, not that ours is general, but a Homeland Security degree, especially the physical security elements of it. We have another question here for you, Dr. Wallace, or for anybody. Which program of these three illustrious programs would you direct somebody who already brings to bear a vast emergency management and counterterrorism background?
And that's a good question. That's something that perhaps we could talk further about, maybe after this. It's kind of dependent on what your interests lie. I mean, if you're interested in the counterterrorism side, you can definitely go that way. Emergency management, is again, I think the last 8 months have shown that emergency management is a vital part of what happens in the United States. You have to have an emergency management, a competent emergency management team to plan for these events. So that might be something that we can talk further on and see kind of where you want your, where your interest lies.
I'm sorry, before you go, I have another question. Regard to the 3.0 GPA requirement, is there consideration of undergrad GPA combined with work experience? For example, an undergrad of GPA of 2.93 in criminal justice with 23 years in a police department?
Yes. The short answer is yes. Dr. Rouse and I, we review every application. If you're not quite at 3.0, we do take in other considerations because again, we are in the adult education and we understand that, I'll be straight up. I graduated with a 2.7 undergrad, not that great, but I was given a second chance in grad school and here I am. So I do believe looking at the whole student, not just GPA. We use that kind of as a benchmark, but there are variables in there too.
Well, one thing I learned at teaching at West Point is a lot of folks graduated that were brilliant and amazing officers and had a sub 3.0 GPA. So it wasn't the measure completely of the person. So it's a kind of a holistic view of folks and what they're doing and what their plans are to do in the future.
All right, so What we have here is a whole team, just to basically help keep you successful throughout your time in the program. And the goal is to get you to graduation, or earning whichever, certificate or degree that you want to earn. Um, we have a team of academic advisors, and the academic advisors work hand in hand with the program directors. So at the graduate level, I work hand in hand with Dr. Wallace and with Dr. Rouse. And we have a team of undergraduate advisors to work with them as well for our undergraduate students. Just like Dr. Wallace and Dr. Rouse said, the faculty here are expert in their fields, and they have industry experience. And so the information that you're going to learn for them is going to be second to none. We have career advice that we offer. We have a career counselor on staff, and then we have career advice that comes from Dr. Wallace and Dr. Rouse as well. The nice thing that you can take away is the connection of to our alumni, as well as with your peers. You're going to learn a lot of information from your peers as well as your professors. And so learning from them is also very is encouraged, as well as getting connected with alumni so that you don't have to worry about, feeling like you're alone when it's time for you to step out into the world after graduation. So applying is pretty simple. You just need to complete the application and do a personal statement. The application fee is $40 for undergraduate and $50 for graduate. However, for attending this wonderful webinar, your application fee will be waived. Be sure to have an image of a government ID, clear image of a government ID, and your transcripts. If your transcripts are uploaded by you once you do your application, those are unofficial, but they can get us started with looking at your application. But make sure you send your official transcripts as well. You can send them electronically, or you can send them through the mail. If you send them electronically, we kind of get them quicker and get you processed quicker so that you can register for classes. So the deadline for the spring is January 1st. And for next summer, it's May 15th, and next fall is August 1st. This actually goes hand in hand with the question about the years of experience in working. We have a program called Credit for Prior Learning. And so basically you can earn a set amount of credits based on experience that you have, as well as we include military training as well as community service. What you can do is you can earn up to 24 credits as a undergraduate, and you would create a portfolio assessment based on the courses that you feel you are an expertise in. You'll work with a faculty member to get these portfolios created. At the graduate level, you do have the opportunity to earn up to 6 credits of the same. Financial aid is available for students who qualify, as well as knowing that there is a 20% discount on tuition at the undergraduate and graduate level. If you are a city, parish, or sheriff's office, or even a housing authority employee, or active military, if you are an undergrad, you will receive a 20% discount. At the grad level, if you're active military, veteran, or again, if you are an active or retired public safety personnel, so firefighter, police officer, or paramedic, you can also get a discount. We are a yellow ribbon program school, so we do work with students who are in the yellow ribbon program for eligibility. And we do accept the various government assistance programs. So if you have GI Bill, or if you're doing book rehab, you would work with us in financial aid and the registrar's office to get all these discounts processed.
Amanda, there's a question, if I could just jump in. Is there an area where we can attach our resume and recommendation contacts for the graduate certificate programs within the application?
Yes, I believe so. You can attach a resume as well as with the personal statement. Both of those go in there. Any other questions so far? Okay. Additionally, we are affordable, like I said before. The tuition for SOPA is substantially less than far of a lot of different programs around. The undergraduate is a little bit over $524 per credit hour, and the graduate is a little bit over $1,000 per credit hour. And you can receive financial aid if you qualify, and you would fill out a FAFSA just like you would normally do, and you would work with financial aid to get packaged, and you would see if you qualify for any grants, loans. We do accept Peace Corps and AmeriCorps and a couple of other waivers or stipends as well. You can also get a 25% discount there if you are a Peace Corps member. And we also have a host of different scholarships at the undergraduate level. There are from time to time some that may come about for grad, but the majority are for undergraduate. As an incentive, if you apply to SOPA, you get all of your transcripts in, you are accepted. There is an early enrollment scholarship available. And so if you can get in and registered by December 1st, you will have, at the undergraduate level, you can get a one-time $200 scholarship. At the graduate level, you will be eligible for a $500 scholarship. So the earlier you register, the more you can be rewarded. You will get not only the pick of really great classes, but then you can also get a small discount. For the spring, that deadline again is December 1st, but if you're coming in for summer, the deadline is May 1st to qualify for the scholarship, and then June 1st for next fall. All right, do we have any other questions?
I just wanted to say thank you for attending. Dr. Rouse and I enjoy doing these. We also enjoy talking with students and prospective students. So if you do have any questions, please let us know. Here's my contact information here. And I can also direct you to Dr. Rouse if you have specific emergency management questions. One thing I tell everyone who's interested or in this field that, you know, we get into this field to help other people. And that's a small group. You know, you have doctors, you medical personnel, you have public health, you have social work, but there aren't many professions out there that you get into, that you go into to help other people. And this is one of them. And so we take that very seriously. And we're also a little selfish too, because you're going to be taking care of us when we're old. So we want to make sure that we do the best job that we can to prepare you. So thank you again. Again, if you have any questions, please let us know.
Thanks, everybody.